the ref chair. Anfield is the most special football stadium in England for sure. It gives you power, it gives you energy, it gives you so many things. But as the team to play in, you have the responsibility to perform. And we understood that. And we really tried hard to do that.
How are we then, boys? All right? In terms of Liverpool managers, obviously, you know, we've got the legendary Ramsey, we've got Paisley, we've got Shankly. Kenny Dalglish was my hero growing up. I think Graham Souness is the one where things started to change.
When you look back at what he was trying to do, he was trying to bring like the stuff from abroad about like diets and not drinking alcohol and not having chippy dinners after the match with a group of players who were just not going to have any of it.
There'd been a number of false dawns for Liverpool in the Premier League era when we won the treble in 2001, and then you think, well, that's it now. You know, this is going to be the launch pad. It doesn't happen.
As you've run through the managers we've had in that sort of Premier League era, if you think about it, it's probably only Benitez when he was appointed that we were excited about because of his track record. It was a bit of the Klopp stuff. It's like, this fella's won the league. He's won La Liga with Valencia against the might of Madrid and Barcelona.
The miracle of Istanbul, right? You know, obviously win the FA Cup the next year, but then, you know, dreams of the title disappear again.
We ended up with a divided fan base. Some pro-Rafa, some anti-Rafa. Post-Rafa, wow. I mean, you know, I am still scarred by the fact that Roy Hodgson was ever our manager. He'll tell me I need to let it go. I am not going to let it go.
Thinking of the title was a pipe dream, wasn't it, back then? As you said, under Roy Hodgson, you had a manager talking about openly about a relegation battle. Liverpool were off the bottom of the league on goal difference in the middle of October.
Brendan was an interesting one. We had some good times. We had an unlikely title challenge, didn't we? But I think he was another one where you couldn't say he unified the fan base. But ultimately, he was another one who sort of fell on his own sword a little bit, I think, in the end, because he started to get political. Once all that started leaking into the media, there's only one way it goes. The manager goes. With Klopp, he's never got political, has he?
It felt like a cloud was immediately lifted over the club when Jurgen Klopp came in. Everyone had been on a downer, hadn't they? Since losing now on the title. Gerrard's slip and then Suarez's exit and then the doom and gloom of 14-15.
Steven Gerrard has confirmed his Liverpool departure.
I'm absolutely devastated. I'm never going to play in front of these supporters again.
I will be here as long as I'm asked to be here.
Brendan Rodgers is sacked after 3 trophyless years at Anfield.
And the search to find his replacement has already begun.
Good morning. Morning. Morning.
Born in Stuttgart, raised in Gladden, wonderful village in the middle of the Black Forest, calm, childhood, really cool. Being part of a lot of teams, football, tennis, table tennis, skiing, all these kind of things.
When you grow up in the Black Forest, you're blessed with a beautiful environment. It's very safe, it's relatively wealthy.
The only son with 2 sisters means you are the prince in the house.
Klopp had a father who was football crazy and made him do all these sports.
My dad had big dreams for himself and they didn't all came true, so he tried to give it a second shot with his boy.
You have the father who is a salesman, very confident, loves to talk, knows how to sell, very funny, big figure, big personality.
Jürgen, mach's gut. Tschüss.
And the mum who's very gentle, very caring, wants everyone to be happy. And I think he has both of these qualities.
It was a great time and everything fall kind of in place when I left the region to start studying sports science in Frankfurt, playing for Frankfurt, the second team, and becoming a young father. All the things that happened then made me the man I am today. It worked out much better than I would have expected. when we went to the airport in Dortmund. Still a rumor when I left, obviously, and the guys in Dortmund at the private aviation, they saw me flying to Liverpool. Done.
I just remember when he came in, I'd never known a managerial appointment ever gain such universal approval. I mean, everyone felt like they'd won the lottery.
He was one of the most wanted managers in the world at that time. I can remember from day one we felt like he chimed with our values, and this was a man that could end that long title job.
I don't want to say we have to wait the next 20 years and I'm sit here again. I know when I sit here in 4 years, I think we won one title in this time. I'm pretty sure.
He'd won the biggest title in Germany with an underdog against a superpower. And then he also had this personality.
All the people told me so much about the British press and so on, so it's up to you to show me that they're all liars. So I'm a totally normal guy. I'm the normal one, maybe, if you want this. And of course, my enthusiasm about their quality, of course, it gave them a little lift.
Bill Shankly always used to talk about the Holy Trinity, the players, the manager and the supporters. So Klopp sort of acknowledged that as well.
What I did after the West Brom game, and I want to say thank you to the supporters after that game and took my team there. It was a big misunderstanding. I wanted to show it's really that we are one unit.
It's a bit of a German thing to go over and sort of greet the crowd, thank the crowd in that way. It drew some ridicule from, I can remember the likes of Robbie Savage on Radio 5 having a field day with it.
Probably later on that season, just how the switch had been completely changed was the Dortmund fight back, wasn't it? Because that's probably the epitome of just how things had changed at Anfield.
There was lots of talk, and people forget this, of the Anfield atmosphere is gone forever. And then, as you say, we have Dortmund, the roof nearly comes off. The hairs are standing up on the back of my neck now, talking about it, I can still remember it.
When you think about the number of unbelievable nights we've had under Jurgen, and we thought before he came in, they'd gone forever.
If this man doesn't win us the league, no man will.
Klopp really struggled to become a professional footballer. When he had his supposed big break at Eintracht Frankfurt, never really made it to the first team, and it was only at Mainz at a relatively late age that he became a professional footballer.
Also ich sage immer Kloppo, als mein Freund, nicht Jürgen. Ja. Ich glaube 325 Spiele für Mainz absolviert und ich weiß gar nicht, ob es einen gibt, der mehr Spiele gemacht hat.
When I went to Mainz, they played in the second Bundesliga at this time. Jürgen was already there for a year, and then his roommate got injured. Then we spent more or less nearly 4 years as roommate. He was someone we liked to have in the team because he wanted to win. He was always there for you as a teammate on the pitch and off the pitch as well.
Jürgen war nicht der Kapitän der Mannschaft, aber er war der Kopf der Mannschaft. Er war immer offen, immer ehrlich, immer korrekt, aber für den einen oder anderen Trainer war das unangenehm.
This was a world-famous Bavaria Oktoberfest, which everybody knows. We played with Mainz, obviously, then probably against 80-60 Munich, smoking. This was, by the way, one of the most difficult situations which we had. He is a smoker, I'm an absolutely non-smoker. Our solution was he was allowed to smoke, but only on the toilet.
Ohne Wolfgang Frank wird es den Trainer Jurgen Klopp, so wie er heute ist, nicht geben.
Died much too early, but his sons are in the football business, and we are still in contact.
Und ich glaube, wenn man heute fragt, wer war der wichtigste Trainer in deiner Karriere, dann würde er immer Wolfgang Frank sagen. Ich habe Wolfgang Frank im September 1995 verpflichtet und wir standen im Winter auf dem letzten Platz, auf Platz 18. Alle Prognosen waren Absteiger Nummer 1, 100%, Mainz 0. Dann kam Wolfgang Frank in der Winterpause zu mir, sagte mir auf einmal, ja, wir spielen die Rückrunde ohne Libero. Libero war in Deutschland nur was ganz Besonderes. Das muss man sich vorstellen, wir waren nach der Vorrunde Letzter. Wenn man die Rückrunde ist, dann der Erste. Und der hat alle elektrisiert, das ganz Deutschland elektrisiert.
was a football transformer at that time, and a lot of my teammates from that time became managers afterwards because of him, because he showed us how influential a coach can be.
He suddenly narrowed the gap between the really good team and a team like Mainz who had very few good players. And that was a footballing father to him. I think he raised his tactical awareness.
In seiner Zeit als Spieler habe ich mit keinem Spieler so häufig gesprochen wie mit Jurgen Klopp.
Nobody wants to look back in 10 or 20 years and say, so the best time we had without winning anything was when Klopp was in. That's not really something you want to achieve. We have still time to do something special, and we know that. We are maybe in the best moment for ages.
I've never experienced anything like that. We went to a European Cup final, were beaten, and literally every single person I spoke to afterwards was saying, it's not the end. This is just the beginning. And you could sense that, and that was him. He created that. We were not like that before this man came along, and the next season you finish agonisingly close to winning the first league in 3 decades, to a juggernaut.
That season was decided by that, probably.
Barcelona has to be the greatest now, doesn't it? You speak to the players who were involved, and he gave this incredible team talk in the Hope Street Hotel before they travelled to Anfield. Go and create a memory that we can all tell the grandkids about one day. And they all say that they left that room thinking, it's on.
Greatest achievement. Yeah, winning the league is the greatest achievement, but winning the Champions League after losing the final year before is probably one of these very unlikely football stories.
We've been functioning bar now for the last few years. It's very popular in the city. Obviously, how well Liverpool have done recently as well, and it's popular with the fans and overseas and in the UK as well. When we won the Champions League final, the council put the parade on as they do. The bus was parked literally outside the bar as the fireworks and the celebrations were going on. And then what happened then was obviously Jurgen looked down and seen the bar. That then put that seed in his mind to think, I need to pay that place a visit. And a perfect opportunity came then when one of the back staff were having a stag do. The bus has come along the main strand. He's seen the bar, he stopped the bus with all the traffic behind, and then in true Jurgen style, he should come straight in here, pop in, mess with the staff and the local people that are drinking in the bar, and then proceed to have a pint with everyone and just introduce himself. We initially did think that it was going to be a lookalike until we seen the bus outside and all the commotion, and then we then realised obviously Jurgen's in our bar. He'd done the Jurgen thing and kind of took himself around, met everyone, done photographs. Yeah, lots of memories made thanks to Jurgen.
Man City once upon a time were a team running around winning Division 2 playoffs with Paul Dickhoff. We didn't really regard them as a rival, did we?
And you have to also put Klopp's achievements in the context of up against an opponent with unlimited wealth in Manchester City. Just imagine how boring that era would have been without Klopp's Liverpool.
I think this period here has been our rival. Has been my personally one of the biggest rivals, the biggest team, the strongest team, the toughest team for the consistency. I think both teams had to be so proud, both fans, both had to be incredibly proud.
That's brilliant from Mo Salah.
You live one trophy, you can do it. But every season, fight for all of them, and again and again.
There's always been a pretty high level of respect between Klopp and Guardiola. I think that stems from the fact they've almost inspired each other to greater heights.
Our tenure, our time here in Manchester cannot be defined, cannot be explained without the presence from Liverpool being guided from a contender like Liverpool has done in these 2 years.
one of the things that's helped us get under the nose of Guardiola is the strength of Klopp's personality. And we've definitely been sort of nice to each other at different times. But I also think there's a little bit of beef between the two.
Everybody knows that to be the best, you need to come up against the best. Like we've seen it in boxing for years where there just aren't that many great heavyweights. But you're never going to get a legacy like Muhammad Ali without somebody else to come up against and have those battles.
There isn't another manager around who's got a better record than Klopp against Guardiola's City.
It was never a personal battle, obviously, but with the teams we had, we pushed each other on incredible heights. I would think that Pep enjoyed it even more because he won all the battles besides one. But I'm at peace with it as well. You cannot be better than you are. I try to absolutely give my absolute everything, do my absolute best. And that's what I did. Not giving up. You learn it the hard way. And I was never a winner from day one. I always had to fight harder than the others. I'm not that talented, not that good. I always had to try harder than others.
Mainz 05 hat wieder mal gegen den Abstieg gespielt. Ich habe lange überlegt, einen neuen Trainer zu finden und irgendwann wurde mir klar, und das war wirklich in Mainz, Fastnacht am Karneval, sagt man, rief ich, damals gab es noch kein Mobilfon, dann rief ich Kloppo im Trainingslager an und dann kam erstmal seine Frage, wechseln wir den Trainer wieder? Dann habe ich ihm gesagt, ja, ich glaube, du wirst der Trainer. Dann fragte er mich zunächst, ob ich was getrunken hätte, weil es war Karneval in Mainz. Ich habe ihm bestätigt, nein, ich habe nichts getrunken und habe ihm kurz berichtet, was so mein Plan und meine Idee ist. Er hat gar nicht mehr nachgefragt. Er hat gesagt, okay, das mache ich. Und so ging das weiter. Am nächsten Morgen eine Pressekonferenz und auf einmal saß da Jurgen Klopp und die ganzen Journalisten haben dann gefragt, was macht Jurgen Klopp hier im Raum? Also die dachten, da sitzt jetzt ein neuer Trainer. Und dann habe ich das erklärt und dann hat der ganze Saal gelacht. Also da hat keiner gesagt, oh klasse, Klopp ist Trainer. Alle haben gelacht und dann wurde Jürgen Klopp gefragt, ja, was will er denn ändern mit dieser Mannschaft? Ist hier nichts mehr zu holen? Dann sagte er so in der Art, ja, ich habe mir jetzt auch überlegt, vielleicht tanze ich nackt auf dem Tisch. haben die Journalisten auch nochmal gelacht. Am nächsten Tag haben alle Zeitungen vollgestanden. Wir wurden in ganz Deutschland auf den Arm genommen. Mainz macht einen Spieler zum Trainer.
Ich habe in Frankfurt gewohnt, bin aus Frankfurt und Kloppo hat damals auch in Frankfurt gewohnt. Und dann hat er mir angeboten, dass er mich zum Training mitnehmen kann. Und ich habe das natürlich dann auch gerne angenommen und haben es in der zweiten Saison auch weiterhin so getan. Bis zu dem Zeitpunkt, als er dann Trainer wurde. Gesagt, okay, ich möchte dann lieber selber fahren, weil ich nicht wollte, dass in der Kabine dann gebrüttelt wird. Kam ich immer geräuchert im Training an, weil der Kloppo im Auto sehr gerne geraucht hat. 2 Fliegen mit einer Klappe geschlagen.
Ich hatte ihn noch nie vor einer Mannschaft reden können. Und als die Sitzung beendet war, habe ich meine Vorstandskollegen angerufen und habe ihnen gesagt, wir gewinnen 100% übermorgen. Und er ist ein fantastischer Motivator. Nach 6 Wochen haben wir die Liga gerettet gehabt und auf einmal hat jeder über Jürgen Klopp berichtet.
He was advertising our club. He was the frontman of the club. And that was very great for all of us. He was sometimes aggressive versus the press. He was sometimes very serious versus the team. But he was always honest. That is one side. On the other side, he was a hard worker. He was really a hard worker.
Die schlimmste Situation war das erste Jahr. Wir sind am letzten Spieltag in Berlin gescheitert mit einem Punkt. Uns hat ein Punkt gefehlt. Und ich habe anschließend mit Jürgen in der Umkleidekabine gesessen und er hat geweint wie ein kleines Kind. Er hat 10 Minuten nur geweint. Und da hat man gespürt, wie wichtig ihm das war. Und im nächsten Jahr scheitern wir in der 95. Minute an einem Tor, was auf einem anderen Platz gefallen ist, aufgrund des Torverhältnisses. Und ja, dann waren alle am Boden zerstört, weil gefühlt waren wir in der Bundesliga und dann wurde es uns wieder weggenommen. Und wir kamen nach Mainz und diesmal standen 10.000, 15.000 in der Stadt. Und dann Jurgen Klopp stellt sich hin und hat so gesagt, was uns vor 2 Jahren passiert ist, egal. Was uns in diesem Jahr passiert ist, egal. Aber nächstes Jahr werden uns alle erleben wie niemand zuvor.
Die Fans haben darauf hingefiebert. Das war der erste Aufstieg, das erste Mal, dass Mainz 05 als kleiner Verein in die Bundesliga aufsteigt. Und wir haben ja, so hart dafür gearbeitet, auch als Team, und ja, so viele Rückschläge hinnehmen müssen.
It was one of the proudest days for me. I think for him too. And everybody was looking up to the balcony and celebrate the team. And suddenly Jurgen took the microphone and he was crying. I will never forget. But it was so loud because he was crying, "We are in the first division!"
Ich habe jetzt gelesen, dass das, was Jürgen Klinsmann jetzt mit der Nationalmannschaft macht, das ist so ungefähr das, was wir hier seit 3,5 Jahren machen. Also wir wollen mehr laufen als der Gegner, wir wollen taktisch besser sein als der Gegner, wir wollen eine größere Leidenschaft auf den Platz bringen als der Gegner. Wir wollen den Leuten ein Spektakel bieten, wir wollen Fußball spielen, so wie wir ihn gerne sehen.
Wir sind abgestiegen in seiner 3. Bundesliga-Saison. Und er steht da unten auf dem Feld und hält nach dem Spiel, wir wussten, wir sind abgestiegen, eine Rede. Niemand ist aus dem Stadion gegangen. Alle 20.000 sind im Stadion geblieben.
More than 20,000 people again to say goodbye to Jurgen. And at the end of it, he was surprised about that we did. We made a big picture of his face over the whole theater. And everybody was so surprised and astonished what we did, and then the tears running on. He is a normal one, but the truth is he is a special one, and that is the secret. You can't compare the history from Mainz 05 to Dortmund and Liverpool. We were unknown, but after Klopp, we were well known.
Sometimes you get a bit lucky and there's a bit of a sprinkle of magic dust. I often say this about like the greatest bands in the world. The Beatles come together for a short period of time and just make unbelievable music, and then it's gone. And it's a bit like that with that front three.
Mo Salah absolutely hit the ground running, because he won 44 goals in his first season back in the Premier League. Just almost telepathos between the three, wasn't it? And you had sort of Firmino knitting it all. You had Salah with his pace, his finishing. You had Sadio with his finishing, his power, his back-running quality. It's almost like a street football at times.
I think if you'd have stopped it in a moment in time there when he took over and said to Liverpool fans, we're going to tell you now that Roberto Firmino is going to end up a Liverpool legend, who would never have believed it. And then Klopp comes in into a footballer who we now miss.
He said we were lucky to have him, didn't he? You know, Brendan Rodgers didn't know what to use him, to the point where he was just simply playing with the Wizards back at one point. You know, the phrase all the time, and any conversation about Liverpool, that country, remember that country. When we had the country, you fancied yourself in any drinks of that.
Beautiful. Oh, that is gorgeous.
I think one of the key things that Jurgen Klopp has done throughout his reign is sign players with character.
Demanded that he should score for Liverpool.
The upgrade going from Karius to Alisson was just absolutely immense, wasn't it?
World-class goalkeeping from the Brazilian here.
We'd gone into that Champions League final with Karius, and I think up until that point, Klopp was a bit like, we'll be all right. And then we went into the biggest game in European football, and our goalkeeper wasn't up to it.
And let's not forget that Alisson scored a goal for Liverpool at a crucial part of the season.
It's Alisson!
Went up, leapt like a salmon and headed it into the corner. That's just unbelievable. Like, where's that come from?
And then with Van Dijk, Liverpool had lacked a real defensive leader, probably since Jamie Carragher's retirement.
He's got an aura about him. Just him being there, just his presence, it calms everyone. He makes players around him better. Whenever you've got someone playing alongside Van Dijk, you even hear pundits saying this. Well, you can't really judge him because he's playing alongside Van Dijk.
Delivery, simple, certain, searing, Liverpool back on top.
But that moment of us going, all right, we've sold Coutinho, we've got that money, so now is the time to go and invest it and buy those two big players, was a turning point.
Once with those two were in place, it was like, right, those are the final pieces of the jigsaw.
It's hard to pick out the flops. That comes down to Klopp and his team being able to take players and say, that's what we do, we coach players. Like, fans are obsessed with buying players and transfers and spending money, but our job is to coach players and to make them better.
Morning. Yes! Yes! Harvey! Harvey! Move that! That's football!
Assistant manager of the best manager in the world, the pitch. My office is the grass. My job is to make him successful. That's what I always thought. To give clear ideas, to make sure that he can just focus on what's really essential. So, and that's managing world-class players.
The boss, the best.
Got that. He's a developer and he loves to develop players. And that's something that it allows the club to grow with the academy, and having someone who cares so much about them and who opens constantly the door for them to come to the first team.
Have a listen up, please. I really believe in the Holy Trinity. I know it's a thing of the club. It's the fans, the manager and the players. If these three core groups think the same about football and live the same way, as passionate about the same game and the same style, then success will be there. Then things can grow. If one thing is missing, the players don't believe in the manager, or the ideas, or the fans are not having the play, or it will not work. These three are always the base of everything.
Ready, Gaffer, ready, here we go.
He changed the style of play, the intensity of play, the work rate, the aggression, and, you know, made his kind of total football and make Liverpool back to a winning force.
Sorry. Good.
I started working as a young board science student in Mainz, and he was a player, and we started doing analyze stuff. And from time to time, I had them to say, "Oh, listen, this or that situation, the right fullback should be more active, wanting the ball." And he was, "What? I was shouting the whole time. Didn't you see that?" Obviously, he didn't pass the ball. He never passed the ball. So stuff like that was quite funny, but constructive always. In life, of course, it's always important to find good friends. And you and I believe I can say that we are friends and colleagues.
This trophy I cracked during the celebrations. The things I had it like that, and oh, and I gave it to somebody else. I don't think I ever told that to anybody, but that's now I see it and think, yeah, that was me.
There's one missing there.
Yeah, you have to win it to break it. That's so Pep finished his footballing career with 17?
17, yeah.
Because of knee injury, got directly into coaching. Vitor
finished when he started.
Finished the day after he started his footballing career. Pete was Jurgen Klopp of the Verbandsliga. The Verbandsliga is 7th league right around the world, is it? Sorry? 5th or 6th. In his mind. So it was like amateur football. So great throw-in, great header, and?
Winning.
And a winner.
And winning.
Okay, good. The only one who had a decent career is Johnny, actually. Johnny, I'm not too. You probably have to read his book, which is a challenge in itself. But then you will know it.
He has not only been a legacy now in Liverpool, but he did it before at Mainz and Dortmund. So that shows you with less money, he can still create a lot.
Dortmund just hit the wall in 2005. I remember the meeting in Düsseldorf with the creditors of the club. The club were £118 million in debt, which was complete. I mean, Schalke right now are in that kind of level of debt. So you can imagine that, like, this is 2005. Back then it was an unseen, crazy amount of money, basically.
Yes, there are clubs nowadays which do take risky actions.
Yeah.
This was a different stratosphere.
Das Dortmunder Management ist ganz offensichtlich Größenwahnsinnig. Es wollte um jeden Preis die Erfolge aus den 90er Jahren mit dem Gewinn der Champions League und so weiter wiederholen. Aber nach dem Abgang von Trainer Hitzfeld war das offenbar nicht möglich.
Was ich jetzt erreicht habe, habe ich diesem Verein zu danken. Dann gehe ich auch gerne vorne weg und akzeptiere da diese 20%. Und dann letztendlich glaube ich, dass allen Spielern es bewusst wurde, in welcher Situation wir waren und dass da alle neben sich auch mit einverstanden sind. Ja.
Also das Problem ist erstmal, dass wir in Aktien eingestiegen sind. Das war schon mal der größte Dreck, den wir gemacht haben. So sehe ich das jedenfalls.
Loading the club with debt, trying to outcompete Bayern with signings of players that led us up to the 2002 title under Matthias Sammer, and the stadium extension going from 54,000 to 82,000, just huge amounts of money. And to deal with that, they had to literally sell the naming rights of the stadium.
Ich denke, dass es klar ist, dass so etwas nicht in 3 oder 6 Monaten zu realisieren ist. Es ist schon ein Zeitraum von 1 bis 3 Jahren.
I think Dortmund just took a massive punt on someone from a much lower league who just had a big personality and they could see his potential.
Ja, Dortmund ist das eigentliche Problem, das muss man ein bisschen länger zurückhaben. Es ist einfach großartige Erfolge, unglaublich großer Verein, der diese Erfolge aber schon auch natürlich sich erkauft hat. Also, das heißt, man hat recht viel Geld ausgegeben, um zu versuchen, Bayern München zu überholen, Nummer 1 in Deutschland zu werden. Ja, deswegen im Moment kann nicht unser Ziel sein, Meister zu werden, oder wir müssen nicht in die Champions League. Wenn bei uns alles perfekt läuft, dann müssen wir eine Mannschaft zusammenbauen, die um den UEFA Cup Platz 5, 4, 5, 6 müssen wir mitspielen.
I think there's always a recognition that Dortmund isn't the wealthiest area and that we have to come together. Everyone comes together for the EBB.
There was no money. It was essential to bring in young players.
He was the glue between the fans, the ultras, the players, the young players and the established players. Dortmund went on to win the title with 82 points, which was unheard of.
Lewandowski, wir stehen 2-2.
I mean, it was rising from the ashes, Phoenix rising from the ashes, and completely blew everyone away, including Bayern Munich.
He was one of the reasons why I got the opportunity at Dortmund second season. When I got offered the job, obviously they won the title in the summer, and I took over the second team. And I said, now I come to Dortmund, we won the title. What can come now? Now I join the club and it only can maybe go southward.
I suppose the defining moment was the DFB Pokal final 2012 when we thrashed Bayern Munich 5-2. Lewandowski got 3 goals and only to be poached shortly after that by Bayern Munich themselves.
he won the double. We got promoted as well, so it was then unbelievable. I got a feeling for the atmosphere which he created. This was something special.
I remember that ex-believer slogan that the club created, the true love or true commitment, and that came out of Jurgen Klopp's attitudes. So it's been interesting seeing his progression as well from Dortmund and how he's carried that spirit forward. The last season, you know, shouting matches and people getting really agitated when we were second to bottom at the Christmas time.
Then they had a great run in the second half of the season. He felt that it was time to leave Dortmund.
Going through those highs and lows and going through the transition that the club did go through Klopp's years is always going to make me taste victory in a different way. You know, the turnaround that he did manage to achieve at the club will always make us respect what winning really is.
7 Jahre unseres gemeinsamen Lebens nehmen nächste Woche erst ihr Ende. Wir sehen uns ganz bestimmt irgendwann. Bis dahin, euer Kloppo.
When I left Dortmund, my last sentence maybe were, it's not so important what people think when you come in. It's much more important what people think when you leave.
October 1990 was my first trip to Anfield. My dad took me, and I remember coming out after the game and he bought me a scarf and I had on it 18 times champions of England. I remember saying to it, didn't mean to get that one because that'll be out of date next May. Because as a kid, it just felt like routine, and I've still got that scarf. And I had it on the night when Klopp finally ended the 30-year wait.
Jones is through the middle. It came to.
You know, the only twinge of sadness attached to that was the context that it happened in with the pandemic, because of course all the different scenarios that go through in your head over 30 years of waiting to see it. You know, never did I think it would be in an empty stadium lifting the trophy with no parade and without full Anfield to properly celebrate.
Champions of England again last on Liverpool.
I knew how important football is in the city. I knew we'll have a good relationship, so that was clear, because I'm exactly like that. They all invested so much love, patience, desire, tears, whatever, to get there, and now we are there, and now we would be really silly if we wouldn't share it.
When Liverpool came calling for him, he compared it to when he met his wife, because he said it felt like the perfect match.
Yeah. It was almost the Shankly quote, wasn't it? Like, I was made for Liverpool and Liverpool was made for me.
When he first came to the club after his spell at Dortmund, and he was already being compared to my granddad quite a lot then, I think, because of that socialism aspect, you know, and I think that centred around the bond with the fans. For me, Jurgen really put the Liverpool way back into Liverpool.
Mr. Shankly has intimated that he wishes to retire from active participation in league football, and the board has, with extreme reluctance, accepted his decision.
It's 50 years since my granddad did it, and obviously Jurgen's done it. And obviously the reasoning behind it draws some comparisons, you know, about running out of energy. And you know, one of the most asked questions we get as a family is, you know, is it true the reasons he gave for retiring, which was cited around family and energy and things like that, and they were true. My nan Nessie, who I was incredibly close with my nan, and she basically hoarded everything that ever belonged to my granddad. Most of it was unbeknownst to us. So when she passed in 2002, and we were sort of going through the house and things, you know, within every cupboard, within every drawer, within every wardrobe, there were items of memorabilia, and obviously plays a pivotal part in the history of Liverpool Football Club. So there was a telegram in there from the Beatles in 1965, you know, ahead of the FA Cup final, where they're wishing him good luck for the day, and it's signed John, Paul, George and Ringo. With Jurgen, we'd been told he was quite interested in my granddad and my granddad's history, and on the back of that we reached out to him basically and weren't really expecting anything to come from it. And then the next thing is we were told, oh, you know, he'd love to come down and see. So he spends about 5 hours here with us, and he asked a lot of questions, so easy to talk to, so down to earth. And you know, we've been privileged, you know, to sort of meet him a couple of other occasions after that when he's come back and he's done events here at the hotel. And one of the things I wanted to get over to him was that, you know, as a fan who's gone to the home and away since I was a kid and still does now, I wanted to sort of get across to him just how much it meant to me, you know, that day that, you know, we were confirmed as Premier League champion. I was so emotional, I couldn't get words out. And he said, well, so was I.
Yeah, I have to. I will leave the club at the end of the season.
When he told me that he will leave Liverpool in the summer, my first reaction was I was happy for him, because this only shows me that he looks after himself.
Thank you, Jurgen.
It's one of the toughest jobs in world football, isn't it? And you only have to look at the pictures of when he came in compared to May 2024. It dominates every second of every waking hour.
There's a lot of pressure on leading this club and giving everything you have to them. And it was such a special time. It's the best time of my life. So, yeah.
Here, it's never going to be the same again. Another thing between he is firmly entrenched in the Liverpool Football Club.
We are third. It's all right. The club needs Champions League football, and they have Champions League football.
If at the start of the season you'd said to me, we'll win the League Cup and we'll finish there, I would have bitten your arm off.
Life doesn't give us Hollywood endings, but at the end of the day, Jurgen Klopp has given us, as a fan base in the last decade, some of the greatest Hollywood moments you could ever imagine as a football fan.
We won a trophy, qualified for Champions League. We reached the final, and we won the final with 7-8 academy players. So that was so big.
I'm so in peace with the team we leave for the future manager and coaches, because it's full of potential.
That's outstanding technical right. I'm so proud of you and so proud that I was being allowed to be part of this. Thank you very much. Yeah, and it's nice living for the boys. Thank you.
I know some people will say, well, only one Premier League title, only one Champions League, and that spectacularly misses the point, because look at what he's created at Liverpool. Look where Liverpool were when he walked in, and look where they are when he walks out the door. You know, he said that on his first day in the job. He said, it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks of me now. He said, it's about what someone thinks when you finally say goodbye.
Dear Jurgen, the reason I'm writing to you today is not directly about football. It's to thank you for being Jurgen. I was born in the north of England in 1960 to a German mother and a British father. Now, they gave me the name Jurgen, which was and remains an unusual choice for this country. For the British, the name was associated with being stereotypically German until you came along. They now associate the name Jurgen with the honor, pride, compassion, vision and integrity you have brought to it. To say that you have changed the name of Jurgen is literally the case. I have even found that people can now say, spell and remember my name. How cool is that? I intend to live up to the standards you have set for our shared name and really appreciate your contribution to the name of Jurgen, both on and off the field. Best regards, Jurgen Moraes. By the way, the name has the same problems in Germany, at least the region where I'm coming from. So in the Black Forest, Jurgen, really, really bad name. So I got a nickname for my first day of my life. My first nickname was Elizabeth because I look like my mom. And at university, it became Kloppo. But nobody ever called me Jurgen. Then I come to Liverpool and the people call me Jürgen. So, Jürgen, welcome. You are special people. Thank you so much. I'm really proud to be part of this family. Thank you. See you.
course I will miss things. But you only miss things when you enjoyed them before. I miss things properly when you've enjoyed them before. And I really think I enjoyed it long enough. Somebody else can do that now, and I will enjoy it anyway, just in a different role. For once, I need to check out how that is. And it's all right. I don't mind missing things, because that is part of life as well. You cannot have everything. I was hoping for a new start, for something special, or something big. Then that's what we do, 100%. I mean, I know how football is. Everybody thinks they could do it themselves. You cannot be better than you are, and I gave everything. So if that was not good enough, sorry. People look at my career and will say, "Yeah, but he only won this and that." Absolutely, all right. You are right. But I'm at peace with it. Simple. And that's all right for me. That's it. Welcome.